game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Abby, Jordan, and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. Along with me, I have Logan and Jordan, as always. Before we get started today, we did want to let everyone know that this episode, we are doing video and just regular voice. So it will be the same, however you listen to it, whether you watch it on YouTube or listen. But we did want to let everyone know, so if you want to watch, it will be up on YouTube. So let's get into it. Logan, what did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
Well, I didn't get bodied by the new fucking Bravo yet. We're 20 seconds into this podcast. I already dropped an F-bomb. Well, this one's gonna go great.
Shocking.
Right. I did draft WTR one last time with what I would call medium rare Katsu, meaning that it did not have enough of the meat to crank through. Lost to Rhinar, which makes me embarrassed to be alive, and then managed to beat Dorinthia when Dorinthia got greedy for a turn. So just like everything else in Flesh and Blood, don't be greedy. You'll probably win.
Is Rhinar
unless you're playing Kano. Oh yeah, Rhinar's that bad. But unless you're playing Kano, then write in bold letters at the top of whatever you do to keep track of your life total, be greedy and underline it 12 times, because that's Kano.
How open does Rhinar have to be for it to be correct?
So there's a version of Rhinar that is kind of called the Yellow Bellow Rhinar.
Okay.
You want a bunch of yellows and a bunch of bellows. It's exactly how it sounds.
Okay. So if you ever get lost, just remember the name. Yeah.
Yep. And honestly, that's it. We've seen multiple versions of Rhinar now with a variety. Like I think we've seen two in draft with Scabskin Scalers. Or Scabskin Leathers, not Scalers. Jeez, I'm an idiot.
I heard those weren't good. I heard those weren't good enough.
They're not good enough.
That's crazy to me.
You have the Rhinar Legendary, still not good enough.
That's crazy.
One of them even had like Blood Rush Bellow with that, still not good enough. Whereas if you had, Tectonic Plating and Crippling Crush, you're probably never losing. Just saying. So
right. Yeah, that's okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Jordan, what'd you do?
We did some Flesh and Blood sealed. We did one sealed. I played Bravo, and Abby played Dorinthia. And I posted a picture in our Discord, but Crippling Crush was Bravo Crippling Crush was introducing himself to Abby.
I get a feeling that's going to be a very popular introduction to people going forward for reasons.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll get to Bravo Crippling Crush here in a little bit. But yeah, we did that. We finished up our collection organizing. We are completely caught up now. We did the binder method per set. We have all of our extra bulk in the big binders. Or in the big boxes rather. I have a list of everything we need to complete sets. I actually just placed an order for everything that is not legendary or fable that we need out of Everfest. Not Everfest, Tales of Aria.
There you go.
So that was cool.
So I did put together a TCG player cart for absolutely everything that I'm missing. So I did the same thing you did, and I finished it.
Yeah.
For everything I'm missing, to have 3 of copies of everything that requires 3 ofs, and then every fabled and legendary, and my cart price on TCG player was $340.
Oh, that's easy. Snap it off.
Yeah, like nothing. Just like, wow, I do have almost everything.
Yeah, you have a lot of fableds, right? Already.
Yeah, I've opened 6, so that helps.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god. There it is. Jordan, don't edit it out.
I just couldn't decide what Corsham to put in the binder and which one to keep in a hard case. It was hard.
Oh,
it was a hard
man,
decision.
That's tough. Wow. Jeez.
I randomly figured out today that I actually still own 2 Spellbound Creepers, and I thought I had traded one off, and then I remembered that I opened 3 of them.
That's unlucky.
Unlucky.
Very unlucky to need to find a place for one of those now.
I have a foil set and a regular set. It's fine.
You're a monster.
Oh my god.
What'd you do, Ab?
I'm an absolute monster. You're not wrong.
You kind of covered it. Jordan and I played a couple games. But we have a couple of the WTR drafts this coming week. So we will have more to talk about next episode.
Yeah, I have 2 coming up this weekend, and then I have 2 more because apparently Peach State Games, which is a distributor for Flesh and Blood for the Midwest, they didn't send the kits out until late, and so the window for holding these tournaments was extended.
I heard that.
So
Just
now-
for that region, right?
Yes, so I have 2 this weekend, and then I have 1 the weekend after and 1 the weekend after, so I get 4 total.
That's awesome. I'm doing 3, which I feel like 2 is above average based on what I've read in like Discords and online and stuff. Is like a lot of people are just have one in their area.
Yep, I've seen that a lot.
So it's kind of weird to be like, oh, I'll do 6 drafts this weekend. Like,
Why not?
yeah,
I mean, it seems great.
yeah,
Right.
I'm super excited about it, to be honest. So
Yeah, I'm stoked as hell. Like I think I've taken too long from going out into the wild and playing Flesh and Blood rather than staying in the comforts of the sub-zero Arctic that is Iowa. So I feel like venturing out again. Of course, I'm going fucking north to Minnesota, so I'm just going to get more Arctic. But
the
that's
actual
not the point.
tundra of Minnesota.
That's right.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta.
Columbus looks like the tundra today. It's
Yeah.
10 degrees and flurries and blizzardy weather all day.
I cooked
Yay.
steak in that weather on my outdoor grill. Who cares?
Those looked good, by the way. Join our Discord
were-
to see those.
They were unreal good. Like, we nailed it. Perfect medium rare. We made some we parboiled some potatoes and then threw them in the oven with some rosemary, garlic, and olive oil, and those turned out completely majeur. So we had ourselves a good dinner.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
All right. We've somehow gotten off topic. I am not doing my job. Okay.
Really, Abby?
For reference, we spent 7 minutes on the introduction, and we have spoilers to talk about. So, if you
All
are
right.
sitting at work, buckle up.
Let's
gonna be a
move
while.
it along. All right. So first for news and notes, New Zealand and Australia had nationals this weekend. We will link the article that we're currently going to discuss from Flesh and Blood about the results of the heroes for that. So, let me find the chart here. Okay. So for New Zealand, Briar was top with 6, Prism was 5, and Bravo was 4. And for Australia, Briar was top with 8, Chain was second with 6, and Oldham was third with 3.
And to be clear, those are day 2
Yeah.
numbers.
Day 2 metagame shares.
Yeah. Congrats to Hayden, Dale.
Finally
of,
getting over it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Of the what's their show called? Arsenal Pass. The
Arsenal Pass.
I acted like I didn't know the name of the most popular Flesh and Blood show. I was like, oh, what is that?
Yeah,
other
they make us-
B-list podcast.
They make us look terrible.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
just didn't remember them at all.
They're just like very good. Yeah, and I just blanked on their name. Yeah, no, he
Just, like,
did a deck
actively
check
the best.
actually on the Viscerai deck that he won the tournament with. So
Yeah, and also congrats to Nick Holding. Bringing Prism, something I think I referred to as bringing a knife to a gunfight, and
what do
took
we
it
know?
down.
What do we know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. What do we know? Like, took it down with a pretty interesting Prism build too. I was looking at it and I'm like, whoa, wait here. Like, this is some next level shit. Like we're seeing some pretty interesting things out of this Prism deck all of a sudden that weren't stock. I mean, of course, stock always felt like the thing that won Vegas, that beat the chain meta. But now you're staring down the barrel of people, playing 3x Energy Potion, 3x Phantasmaclasm, and you're just like, oh, okay, we're doing it. We're not thinking about it. We're just doing it. So hats off. Great, great performance, great build. Way to navigate a room of Oldham.
In Australia, Runeblade accounted for, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 8.
That's a lot.
What a fair class.
What a fair class.
It didn't do as well in New Zealand, to be fair. Chain, Briar, Viscerai, so 3 of 8, which I guess half is still a little less than
good.
half. Yeah, 9 of
Yeah.
8, 9 of 16 is the continent's average. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But we have bands. We have Everfest that we're going to talk ad nauseum
we've
about,
got
but
all kinds of stuff. We are not wanting for topics, are we?
the biggest sad for me about this past weekend is that these deck lists aren't super useful anymore.
Nope, not even remotely.
Like the Katsu, the Wanderer list that Beckett McNeil played to a 5th to 8th place finish, I would like to go look at, right? Because I like Katsu, but not having access to that is or not having that be relevant is kind of a drag.
I also kind of feel bad for the competitors, right? Because like they go and they play in these nationals that should have been played a while ago, and they were kind of king for a day type of thing, and then now nobody's talking about them anymore because we have spoilers for a set. Right. It's like, God, I kind of feel bad that you didn't get your moment. You know,
it was weird, right? Because so Friday, Saturday, our Discord was popping with people talking about. I've plugged our Discord like 4 times, but really the place is the bee's knees of people just like talking about the games. Like it was a really hot minute, and then now you're right, like, hey, there's a new hero out, so these guys are yesterday's news, right? These guys played actual old Bravo like chumps. But yeah,
we haven't tasted the rainbow yet.
All right, so Pro Tour number 1 is going to be announced on February 1st. I know we talked a little bit about where we thought it would be, but that is upcoming. So let's see, the first. So we will talk about that in our Discord when it comes out. So you should be in there so you can hear about it.
Yeah, we'll obviously talk about it on the show on the 8th, but it won't be. We won't see you between. We'll probably record next week's show on Sunday. This releases Tuesday afternoon. It wouldn't be out in general anyway. So
yeah, and like honestly, people, we this is the 6th mention now of our Discord in this podcast. But that's because our Discord is great. The people in our Discord are great, and the conversation is virtually nonstop in pet picks, cooking, degen stuff like gambling, and then also, you know, just straight up talking about Flesh and Blood nonstop with people that are passionate about the game. So get in here. Like, we want you here. Come visit.
Your workday will evaporate. Like, it is absurd that I could just spend an hour chatting with people about Flesh and Blood at like Tuesday at like 2 p.m.
Right. You know? From all over the globe.
Yeah, we have people from Australia in there. We actually need to ask him if he played in Nationals.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Our
did
winner,
not ask Ian if he played.
Yeah, our giveaway winner is an Aussie, and we need to ask them. So, yeah, good point. Anyway, but Pro Tour is coming out February 1st. I'm excited to see if it's like a destination vacation like Vegas, or if it's...
Please be Vegas.
All right, so we got the details for Philly's SCG Con. The Battle Hardened will be on Sunday, and that will be for the Pro Tour floating invite, right? That
PTI, yep.
Yeah. And then they're going to have side events on Friday and Saturday.
Which is sweet that it's Battle Hardened, because that means there's 2 PTIs up for grabs.
Yep.
Because top 2 get them. So really they're just playing for the gold foil at that point. In the finals. Well, and plus cash. I guess they're 1Ks too, aren't they?
Let me see. The prize breakdown is actually on here. 500 to first and second, 250 to third and fourth. So yeah, the other 2Ks.
They're 2Ks. Okay, they're 2Ks.
They're 2Ks.
So that's not so bad.
No.
Plus, I think we can pretty much extrapolate that the other SCG Con events will probably be Battle Hardened events, which is great.
The other main events, you mean, for the different shows?
The ones that at the SCG Con Flesh and Blood events, yeah.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Because they do have some like side events on like Fridays and Saturdays and stuff. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that this bodes well, because I think we'll all be in Indy. So at that point in time, it's going to be a lot of our fat family getting battle hardened.
Don't look that.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
I said that exactly how I meant it.
That's respectable and fair. My only gripe is that the main event is on Sunday. so that you like are kind of either priced into coming down for just the day or you have to stay the whole weekend. Where I wish it was like Saturday was the main. So if you want to get in Friday and play a side, see how you feel after the Saturday main as to whether you want to stay Sunday or not. But that's just being nitpicky. Like there's no better or worse.
The worst part is I have a couple of different teams trying to get me to play as their third seat for Magic, and I'm like, if it cuts into my flesh and blood time, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
we have switched gears, people. We are now
That's right.
flesh and blood people. We're not Magic people, and now you'll just make fun of Magic people to no end.
Exactly.
Because I'm not one of you anymore.
Yeah, and as I'm looking at all of the stuff, there is scheduled side events, basically like you would see at a calling.
Yep.
I assume there's also on-demand drafts, even though I haven't seen that.
And the sweet prize wall, so I can get myself a giant Bravo Showstopper. I'm sure that it would look great next to my giant prism.
That would actually be iconic as well. They could battle it out.
Yep, sure would.
Love that. In addition to that, we also got the February Armory Kit announced. So it contains 4 Cold Foil Icelander, 33 Macho Grande Rainbow Foil, so 11 for each color. Yeah. And then 2 Icelander playmats, and then the posters and stuff that come with it.
I'm excited that the playmats are now like People's Champ stuff.
I think it's 1-in-1, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
there's
I like
there's
that.
a Crucible playmat that's for like the person that wins it, sort of, and then the other one is the People's Champion mat.
Oh, you know what? Both of these are People's Champions.
Oh,
I think they changed that. Somebody in our Discord mentioned that they changed that recently. It is no longer like a like the Islander cold foils are your champions prize. Yeah. So
what's a People's Champion? What's that?
Anybody that the tournament organizer thinks like deserves it, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can like distribute it as they.
Yeah, we've done things locally, like having a vote, writing down people who were, who they wanted to vote for, who they thought the People's Champion was, and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a popularity contest.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. I just know that I will never win one for that because I'm kind of an unrepentant asshole at times.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Never.
Oh, thank you, Abby. If people read the host Discord, they would definitely say otherwise.
No, I think one of the stores here they just did it randomly, which makes sense as well. Like, tie prizes away from like a popularity contest or like winning and losing is cool to me. Yeah, especially mats like that are iconic and going to last a while. Like, I like giving them to people that otherwise maybe wouldn't have a shot. Like, maybe they're not ever going to win the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that it has actually cost us at least one player
interesting.
In our local meta, because they're a competitive person that wants to compete for the top prizes, and now it's the top prize is not something that is involved in competition. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. So
is that a net negative to your community? If you don't want to answer that, that's fair.
My feeling about the individual is that yes, it's a net negative.
Okay, so your community is worse off for not having that person around.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
I believe that 1,000%.
No, that's fair. I wouldn't be surprised if some people would feel like the opposite about losing some people in their community, but I think that's just down to the person, No,
absolutely. Yeah. I firmly believe in the concept of addition by subtraction. In certain instances,
but this person is actually a boon to your community, and like
correct.
Sure,
this is the type of person you want involved in the community in general, and they kind of just said they're off of it because of the fact that they don't feel like that their play is being rewarded as it should be, and they're very good.
Are they done with Fab, or are they just done with like these type of events?
They're done with basically local Fab.
Sure. They'll go to like PTQs and the callings and like.
Yep. They'll probably be with me in Indy.
Sure.
So
sure. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like I think armories are the F&M of this, so they might not be for everybody, right?
Right.
So that makes sense.
But it does hurt when it's like your best avenue for local play, you know? I mean, it's
Yeah.
That's where it's kind of a feel bad, because you just, you know, as somebody that feels the same, I think, in a lot of ways that I do, our time is valuable. And it's literally the only currency in life you can't get more of. You have a finite amount. So how you spend it is important.
Sure.
And in this regard, if it's no longer a way you want to spend time, if you don't feel like your time is being rewarded in the way that makes you feel accomplished, and then don't do it, right? Like, that's it. It's as simple as that. It's binary. It's check mark yes, check mark no.
I definitely feel that more and more as I get older too. Like
and I'm 10 years older than you, so you know.
That's fair. Yeah, and Abby's older than me. Like, she's ancient now.
Oh my god, shut up.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm fucking older than both of you.
she just had a birthday the other day, dude. She's like in her 30s now. She's not 30 anymore. She's well into her 30s.
Yeah, I am 1 day into my 30s.
Jesus.
Thank you.
I'm 41.
Yeah, you're basically glue. You're glue.
Okay, I should have been put out of pasture a long time ago, and I agree with that statement. However,
yeah.
I can drink myself into having more tender flesh for when the cannibal apocalypse happens.
Jesus Lord. What?
You started it.
I didn't start that.
All right. Let's get to what everybody wants to talk about. Spoilers. So we have a spreadsheet tracker, and then Reddit has a mega thread. So we'll link both of those in the show notes. Let's start with our favorite cards so far. So, Logan, what's yours?
I mean, this is just the easiest thing in the world, isn't it? Like, Bravo's gas.
Bravo's insane.
Come on. Like, even if you just never use Bravo's ability, it's as simple as, oh, I get to play Awakening in this deck and Oakenold.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Or an Evergreen for, like, I'll never get fatigued. Like, this turns into and obviously you play Macho Grande, which is literally the most important card in Everfest. But it's, I don't know. This I know it's probably knee-jerk because I haven't spent enough time with it, and we talked about this in a different podcast, but it smells like a mistake.
It does.
It starts from that point where you're just like, you just gave them access to everything. Access to they can play Winter's Wail as a one-hander with Rampart without having to play Amathos and worry about your pitching. You get to play all three pulses because reasons.
I mean, like, you're incentivized to play all three pulses.
You
That's
really are.
Even crazy
Absolutely.
too. Like, you're not even in a position where, like, there are some serious turns where your hand could be pulse, like
Pulse doesn't matter.
Yeah, pulse XX, and you're off to the races. You're off to the races.
Yeah.
You're off to the races.
Pulse doesn't matter.
Pulse 3-cost blue, off to the races. You're swinging for X+2 with Dominate and go again. See you later.
The scariest thing I can think of in post Everfest CC is sitting across from a Bravo, and you come in with some massive attack. Like, let's say you come in for a 12 ball. And they look at their hand of 4 cards, they peek at their arsenal and go, yeah, I'll just take the 12.
Yeah, no blocks. Do you have any attack reactions? Okay.
Yeah.
They're just going to go, oh yeah, okay, now Awakening.
Oh my god.
Go get my Crippling Crush. Play this Terra Sunder that I had in my hand. Crush you for free. And it's just like, and then...
What option did you have? You didn't have any play. Yeah.
Right. It's just like, you're fixed. You're stuck. There's nothing you can do. And if they just randomly instead have the nuts hand of the thing, like the Terra Sunder's arsenaled, and they just get to fuse, like they just get to double reveal off their turn or triple reveal off their turn and have the nuts, or like use Awakening to go fetch something that's the nuts, or however this works out. However any of this works out, it is the ultimate feel bad that they just could have anything. It could be a boat. You don't know. And
like,
it's just,
Bravo with 5-card hands is already scary, and you gave them worse.
talk to me about Bravo with channel Mount Heroic. Like, please don't.
Like,
That's
you get to play Oakenhold and Crippling Crush in your deck.
I just like, but like,
What are they
you know,
doing?
you're just like, okay, they played channel Mount Heroic and they had 1 Earth. Like, maybe this is just like, you know, their 1 turn they get to go off and they're like, okay, pitch 2 Earth. The next turn you're like, or
Yeah.
I'm just dead.
So we talked about this before the podcast a little bit, you and me, when we were like experimenting with video. Do they know how to balance the game?
No, I firmly believe they don't.
Like, I think they make a good game.
I do.
I want to say that. I don't know, like, this is set how many in a row, or there's something that's gonna be a problem, right?
Yeah.
This is just a better version of the current Bravo we have.
It feels like it is. I can't. The only time I can think of ever getting dominated by Bravo was on the turn they were going to kill me, and they just did it to save time. Like, they didn't need to dominate me. They didn't have to do that. It was, there's 10 minutes on the clock. I don't feel like you know, taking this to the wire, so let's just kill you now.
Right.
This just ignores that entirely. And you can kind of build it however you want to, but the problem is that you've taken Bravo, whose card catalog was already very good, and just now expanded it into a spot where it's like you could sit across from Bravo, Star of the Show, and you don't know what you're playing against. It could be just pretty stock Bravo. It could be Rainbow Element Bravo. It could be Earth Bravo. Like, what the hell are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe there's a Lightning Bravo build where they're playing Shock Charmers and just screwing you entirely. Maybe it's an Earth Bravo build where they're just pitch stacking with Crown of Seeds. Like, all of this is terrifying to me. As I've been high rolled by Bravo no less than 12 times, shouts out to Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Now I will name and shame because he said it's fine. But it's just, why?
Yeah.
Just why? And Jordan pointed out something to me earlier that now has me very scared, that we already know all the heroes in Everfest.
Yep.
And if that is true, if that is the case, we're in deep shit, because this hero seems busted to me. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Maybe
Right.
the cards in Everfest fix it. Maybe this is just knee-jerk reaction and I haven't spent enough time with it. But the problem is, the more time I spend with it, the more I'm convinced that I'm right. This is busted and a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope we're being reaction Randys. And
Right,
like, this
right.
is just, we're being dumb.
Not to mention, my major bugaboo is not the card itself. It's the little M in the bottom of the card.
Yep.
Why the hell are we making this hero, which is probably, you know, going to be the flagship hero going forward? Why is this a Majestic? Why are we making people chase this? I understand that if it's a money grab, I don't respect it, but I understand it.
Yeah.
But this,
what's the name
I
of
don't
the
like that.
What's the name of the legendary hero that sees like 0 play? Shion. I want to see what her current price is.
Like $80?
Shiana Diamond Gemini. TCG Lowing at 91.50. So
Sure.
This won't have as an extreme thing, obviously, because there's like 20 times more copies of these than there will be her.
Yeah, in theory. Yeah.
Yeah, but 20 is not the math number, but like there's a lot more copies.
There's a lot more. There'll be a lot more Bravo,
but, like,
Star of the Shows. Yes.
Is this a 10, like, even if it's a $10 hero, that's absurd, right? Like, I don't want game pieces tied behind rarity.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've discussed that, where it's like, and this was kind of our nightmare scenario when we talked about it. Actually, the nightmare scenario wasn't legendary, but this is still like, oh, you know what? I want to play Bravo. I have to go chase down this Bravo because it's clearly the better Bravo.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a feel bad. That's my thought. But that's my bugaboo with that and the text on the card. are my bugaboos with Bravo Star of the Show. I think it's head and shoulders at today the best card we've seen in the set.
All right, so the last hero is Guinness What You Need. It's a merchant.
Please.
Yay. So the card is once per turn action, it costs 2. Each other hero may put a card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. If they do, they can draw a card and you create a silver token. If you gain no silver this way, draw a card. Go again.
And then the silver is it's an item action for 3 resources. Destroy it, draw a card, go again. So gives your blue cycle.
It's all about cash in, baby. All about cash in.
For those, let me pull up the text of cash in just because I don't remember it. So for people that don't either, if you Google Cash in Flesh and Blood, you get Johnny Cash, who wrote the song Flesh and Blood. God damn it.
He did.
So please hold for me to look up the
Please make sure that's our outro music for this episode.
Johnny Cash's Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you may destroy 4 coppers, 2 silvers, or gold you control rather than pay cash-in's cost. Draw 2 cards, go again.
And it costs 4 and it's a yellow.
4.
Oh no, we don't pay the 4.
We pay gold.
Not anymore. We don't pay the 4. Like, we have so many things to talk about that make cash in a real card now.
Yeah, and at generic, when a lot of these other things are at generic, is very interesting.
Yeah, like, so there's a few of these that are just like, oh dear. Cash in might be a real card all of a sudden because you might just be able to sack some stuff and draw 2, go again. That kind of seems good.
It definitely seems good, and I'm kind of excited to play with it because when I was putting my cube together, I put in like cash in was initially on the list, and I was like, no one's actually going to draft this card without support. So now that there are support options, maybe I add a cash in package. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, no, I've played against cash in before when somebody wasn't trying to meme, and it was actually kind of good without support. I mean, like, it had its spots.
Sure.
And now we have support for it. Like, cash in might actually be a good card.
And that's kind of what I always wanted out of these supplemental sets, is making other cards good. I expect, added power, but I don't look at these like supplemental sets like for Bravo Star of the Show, right? I look at it as, oh, how do we make this cool card cash in manageable? Oh, this hero, it has some, it has a home now, has a native home now,
Yep.
So that's the other hero. We talked a little bit about how that's disappointing that we're only getting these 4 heroes.
I'm really hoping that there's something that we don't know yet. Like, that's my only hope, really.
Yeah. And in case you're like, hey, how the hell do you know? The fabtcg.com/heroes or whatever only has 4 under Everfest. Now, again, I agree. I hope maybe we get some, that's Stone Cold's music, coming out of nowhere. But
It's actually a Shadow Ninja, but
yeah, right.
and I'm sure that it will be linked in the show notes as
Yes.
far as the link to the heroes page.
Yes,
Yes.
all of that stuff will be
All right, so we're gonna lightning round through the 11-ish cards that are on this list.
Some of these might take a little more than
so-
lightning. Just
yeah.
gonna say that out
If they're
front.
all if they're gas, we have to talk about them.
So if okay, so I'll read the card and what it does, and then you'll say if it's gas or trash, and if it's gas, then we can elaborate on it. If it's trash, I don't think we really need to talk about it. So I'm gonna kick it off. We have Arcane Lantern. It is a generic offhand equipment, and it is Arcane Barrier 1.
Yes,
Gas,
absolutely yes.
insane.
This-
Allows so much creative deck building.
Yep, it allows you to any class that is traditionally playing with a one-hand weapon that doesn't have access to a shield just slams this in the offhand spot and is able to at least weather some level of arcane barrier. Like, yeah, this is absolutely yes.
Gas.
Great card. All right. Even bigger than that, it is a red. It costs 0. It is an instant. Play only bigger than that if you have dealt damage this turn. Opt 3, then reveal the top card of your deck. If it has attack greater than the amount of damage you've dealt this turn, create a quicken token and draw a card.
Gas.
Unreal gas.
Yeah,
Yep.
like plunder on gas.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a straight up plunder run replacement in not Briar, because it's an instant, not an action. But this goes straight into Ninja, and it goes Kadachi you? Yeah, I'll take the one. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. We're gonna do this.
To be clear, it is red, yellow, and blue as well. Most likely, yeah. So
this is probably outside of without some of the niche stuff outside of Bravo, this is probably the best card that they've shown so far.
Agreed.
This enables so much stupid stuff because it's combat damage, so it's not an on hit effect, but it's combat damage, so it's kind of the same. So physical damage. But the opt 3 is just okay. I
set
guess
up my hand for next turn, like
Right.
and I'm going to guarantee
also
that I
just-
make the quicken token and draw a card.
Right, draw the right card to make the quicken token.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right.
This feels like A+ design to me. Like, this is the type of card I want to see, where it's not necessarily a build around, but it's definitely something where you're just like, I want to do this. And even if the blue is opt 1, which is probably true, the blue is probably just opt 1. That's fine for Ninja. Like,
Yep.
Ninja just wants to do this thing.
Yeah, I just want to be able to
And-
give my combo cards that don't currently have go again.
Right.
Like that's what I
Yep.
want out of a card like this.
Yeah. And it's just like this feels, or imagine being able to do this in like some version of Chain where they're just going to take like a small rift binder or whatever, and you just get to do this opt 3, make the quicken token, and then draw a flock of the Feather Walker and then flock them.
Oh.
You know, this does a lot of with go again, by the by, and make another quicken token. Like, this is fun stuff. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I want to be doing and be excited about doing in Everfest. I'm happy about this card, and I really hope that everybody's exactly as happy as I am, because you'll feel a little bit giddy at the prospects of what this is able to do.
The art also captures what I feel like Everfest is. This dude is like table dancing, and there's people throwing beers, and like, so Ramza Ardriputra put it on. Man, this is how I imagine Everfest from like a flavor perspective.
It doesn't hurt that the dude in the picture is basically me at a bar. It does not hurt.
It's actually very similar to you for sure.
Yeah.
He's much
It's
more
how
handsome
I
and in
am.
shape, but
Well, I mean, that's
He's
low
got-
bar on the in shape, but
well, no, the long
Christ.
hair and beard, like actually this guy is you to a T.
right, but round is a shape, so
That's
I'm
good.
in
Fair point.
perfect shape.
That's a fair point.
That it is. All right. Next is Wild Ride. So the one we have is a red. I think it costs 3. It's very blurry on my screen, so I'm not.
It is
It's
a
2 or
blurry
3.
image, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It is a brute attack action. For 6, when you attack with Wild Ride, draw a card and then discard a random card. If a card with 6 or more attack is discarded this way, it gains go again.
Crash.
Yeah, that's awful.
They somehow made a worse pulping. Congrats.
It's bad.
Yeah, I don't. Yep, no, that's it. I'm good.
Jordan's been bullied into calling this trash, so I think we're
No. So I like it does what Brute wants to do, but Brute wants to do bad things. Like,
that might be the best quote this podcast has ever heard.
yeah, like it just doesn't what I don't know.
Doesn't. Not at all.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's
Wild
bad.
Ride. I want off of this
Yeah.
Wild Ride.
Bad,
All right.
bad pulping.
All right.
Brute is still
Nick?
bad.
Knick Knack Brick-a-Back. So this is a generic action.
Zoom tight.
It costs 3. As an additional cost to play this, you may destroy any amount of copper, silver, and or gold you control. Search your deck for a card with amulet, potion, or talisman in its name. Put it into the arena and then shuffle. For each 4 copper, 2 silver, and or 1 gold destroy this way, repeat the process.
This one's a hard TBD for me.
Yeah, if the set were done right now, trash. But well, I don't know.
So if the set were done right now, I would say niche. There's a card we're gonna talk about later that I think this particular card really plays well with it. And there are potions and amulets. Well, not amulets so much. There are potions and that are already pretty good. So
true.
You can set up some pretty interesting turns with something like knick-knack. Okay, I fucking hate this name though.
Knick-knack, bric-a-brac.
I love it.
Oh, come on.
I love it.
Man.
I don't know
Honestly,
if I like
this
the
guy
Christmas
this guy
vibe.
is my physical conditioning though. If you look at him, like this is definitely my physique. This giant belly is 100% me. But and a messenger bag, like literally, like holy shit. If this guy had hair, we would be all in on it. So all right, well anyway, but yeah, this Nick, I can't even say the name, but I think that there are things that we've already seen that make this card better than we think. And on top of that, I don't think we've seen everything. So I think this is a massive TBD.
Yeah. All right. Next is pick a card, any card. Red costs 0. Look at target opponent's hand and then name a card. Choose a random card from their hand and reveal it. If it's the named card, create a silver token. Repeat this process thrice. Go again. It's a lot there.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. So you read the first line and think, I'm gonna get the Thoughtseize these kids.
No.
And then you read the next one and you go, I guess I'm just gonna make some money. You know.
Yeah. Again, this is where you can, if you catch them in a spot where they only have 1 or 2 cards in hand, you get to do a couple of things that are nice. And again, you only need 2 silvers to cash in.
Right.
So
yeah.
To keep the ball rolling. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I think if this blocked for 3, my opinion would change, but it blocks for 2, and it is a generic 0 cost action that gives you free information, which
so
is
its floor is
Yeah.
only so low. Yeah. Yeah.
But to a degree, it's like I don't see where this necessarily fits anywhere that it makes it particularly good. I guess that's where I'm going with this.
So if you're playing against a deck that maybe is heavy on like defense reactions and you're trying to plan your turn, maybe this is good out of Arsenal or something. Like is like I need to know if this is my go off turn or but like, man, I don't know. Like
it feels like you're stretching pretty hard there. Like
yeah.
it's a 0 cost with go again. Like if you erase the rest of the text, that's what it is. And I feel like you're going to be erasing the rest of the text a lot of the time, unless you have something that legitimately cares about silver tokens. And because your best case scenario for this card is you get 3 silver tokens, right? Or 4 silver tokens? 4 silver tokens.
You repeat it 3 times to 4, so 2 gold.
Right. Or 4 silver.
4 silver. Or 8 bronze? 8 copper? Coppers are quarters. Silvers are $50. Gold is $1.
Yep.
There you go.
Smart.
So I don't know. Like there are plenty of decks that want non-attack actions. I'm looking at you, Briar, that cost 0 and have go again on them. It just would really depend on being able to leverage the rest of the text. And I don't know where that matters.
The rest of the text is very circumstantial. Like you said, you need to catch them in between an attack that they've blocked. Because like I don't think you take the 1 and 4 times. Like you're making 1 silver on average, right? So like I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you play this card for 1 silver? Probably not.
I mean, again, it blocks for 2, not anything more, not anything less. So it's
So
just
So the blue version of this could be interesting because at least it pitches for 3. But if we're really saying, hey,
but it only repeats this process one more time, right? Like,
Right.
have we seen the blue version?
I would assume it's thrice, twice, once.
Right.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah, that the best thing you can say about a card is that it pitches for 3. Then like,
Right.
any blue would do, right? So,
yeah.
So
like maybe
that's a
Ninja
stretch.
would play the 3 pitch, but I don't think so. There are better options.
Yeah,
Captain's Call exists. Like,
yeah. So I'm gonna say probably trash, but it also has like the low floor is, or the high floor is 0 go again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Smashing Good Time. This one's super blurry, so bear with me here. So the red costs 0. It's a generic action. The next time an attack action card hits a hero this turn, you may destroy an item they control with cost 2 or less. If Smashing Good Time is played from Arsenal, the next attack action card you play this turn gains +3. Go again.
Situationally good, generically trash.
Yep.
Yeah, they took the bottom half of Plunder Run and then added not as good of top.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the art again. I don't know how many people that listen to this pod are art guys or art people, but I've been a big fan of this Ramza's. You can't see it in my thing, but for people that are on YouTube, I have magic art all over my wall.
Yeah, I like Dolly a lot, but this isn't Dolly. This looks like a Foglio painting.
Oh, you know what I'm excited about for the SCG Cons is seeing if there's any fab artists that go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
Ooh, that'll be nice.
I guess that's my thing is that we're on to Distill. Is Steve Argyle being a fab artist now? Because I will just get Icelander altered to be Liliana and call it good.
Ooh, nice. I like that. But yeah, no, Smashing Good Time is your deck, if it cares about your opponents having those things, might have it as a sideboard card. Otherwise, it is the worst part of Plunder Run.
That's saying it lightly.
Yep. All right. High Striker is the next one.
Okay.
Red.
Can I read this one? Can I read this one?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh God. 0 action with go again. However, so this time it's the next time an attack you control hits this turn, create 6 coppers for the red one.
6 coppers.
You want to cash in, baby. This is how we cash in.
This is your card, man.
This is my card. This is RNGesus worshipping at its finest. And you play this thing as an action, and then you come in with something. Your opponent immediately goes, do I need to overblock this? What if they have a cash-in hand? And you get so much value out of the cerebral portion of this card. And even like the blue version creating 4 coppers is still good enough. And I'm just like, yeah.
Would it be 4 or would it be 2?
Well, it's either 654
or 642.
or 642. Either way, this is what makes me want to cash in. Like this card also, as an art person, as we've talked about before, this art's gas.
The art is gas.
This is straight up Fallout 4 shit. Like, this looks like something you see on a poster in Nuka World. This is great. And I really think that this is exactly Blitz good and CC fun, and I'm here for that. I am the person that wants to do this because it's just weird enough.
I'm going to be a fan of talking about any card that gives us insta cash in money. And at the weird angle that this does, like you said, like even if you just like play this and then attack with like, I don't know, like a Kodachi, right? Your opponent has to go, God damn it. I wasn't going to block that thing. I was going to
They're blocking 3-for-1s. It's great.
They're like, I'm going to spend a card that is good on your Kodachi. Okay, now I block. All right, I'll attack with my other Kodachi. God damn it. Like, I have to block it again. Like, now
so
you're
great.
Like, this one card induces your opponent to block your both of your harmonized Kodachis, because if you harmonized Kodachi, hit them and then cash in, the game's over. You're going to combo kill them.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's just a bunch of just deliciously delightful go fuck yourself just printed onto a card.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's going to be really hard for me the first time I slam this at any event just to not scream the flavor text, which is a step right up, and see what my opponent does. Because either way, it's either going to be I gleefully watch them block my bullshit idiot attack for 1 with a 3, or I just make the 6 coppers and they're like, I don't have the cash in yet, but there's 3 in my deck.
But I will. Yeah.
These coppers don't go away.
That's right.
So we're going to still do this.
All right.
Oh
Next up is Fire Breathing. Red costs 2. It attacks for 3, blocks 3, and then as an instant, you can pay 1. And Fire Breathing gains +1 attack. Activate this ability only while Fire Breathing is attacking.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, card's good.
Good card.
It's just good card is good. It's gas. You read it, and even if you pitch, it's a 3-for-4, which doesn't sound great. But it's also a 6-for-7, which gets a little bit better. But more importantly, it's a 9-for-10, which becomes okay. No, now we did a thing.
Well, it's also the
the
threat of all of that too is like the powerful thing to me, right?
Right, and
like
you can keep swallowing their defense reacts.
Yep, you
Right.
get to do this after blocks if you're playing against a deck that doesn't do defense reactions. Like, so they underblock and get greedy. Oh well, I have 2 other blues in my hand. Like.
Right.
You know, like there is a lot of just like a lot of fab content is centered around like pivot turns, and like this is a pivot turn.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, and the biggest part of this card that I look at is actually that this is a generic that defends for 3.
Yeah.
Its worst case scenario is that it blocks for 3. Like this might be like fringe playable in Guardian of all things, because it has block for 3. It blocks for 3.
Brother, let me tell you,
it's
there is
blue.
not room for fire breathing in this Bravo deck that you're talking about. There is too many.
There are so many Bravo decks now. I'm sure we can figure it out. 2 Bravo decks all of a sudden.
This doesn't have one of the 3 elements, or is God. So, but no, you're right. You're right. This card goes anywhere you want it to, and its peak potential is so high.
Like, honestly, like we talk about Ninja a lot. This Ninja plays a ton of blues. Like, maybe you just say, okay, well, this turn, we're just going to fire breathe you.
Man, and this is
What
like a very... This could turn on masks of momentums really easily.
Mhm.
Because, like...
Kodachi, fire breathe?
Yeah. Like, how do you block this, you know?
Yeah, with backup?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you pitch 1 blue, Kodachi this. So you have 2 blues out there with 2 resources floating. Like,
And you block with a 3 or block with 6, and you're like, okay, pitch, and they're just like, okay, defense react. It's like, okay, pitch again.
Yeah, like now you're behind it, right? So
yeah, this card does seem great to me. I mean, there's a reason. This one feels like it belongs at Majestic. This one feels like it doesn't need a red, yellow, blue version. That this is the best version of itself. And I see the M on here, and I'm not offended like I am with Bravo. Like here, okay, this M belongs on this card.
Yep.
Completely agree.
All right. Next is Amulet of Haven Call. It is a generic action item. It is blue. It costs 0. It has go again. Defense reaction, destroy the amulet. Search your deck for a card named Rally the Rearguard. Add it to the chain link as a defending card, and then shuffle. Activate this ability only if you have no cards in hand.
You understand how bad Rally the Rearguard is?
This card is terrible.
Yeah, like this is just trash.
Hold on, let me Google something really quick. What is the cost of a garbage disposal? So for 58.42 via
We can
Home
get rid of
Depot,
all these.
you can deal with these. Yeah.
This
All
is a
right.
rare you open in a box is going to make you feel bad about opening the box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, is not good. All right, next one is Talisman of Featherfoot. It is yellow. It is an item, cost 0. Just go again. When an attack you control gains exactly +1 from an effect during the reaction step, destroy this and the attack gains go again.
So from the jump, I am a whore for tricks. This is a trick. And kind of a beautiful one at that. Because the tricks that people play around are typically trying to understand what's in your hand. What people fall prey to frequently are on the board tricks. This is an on the board trick. And so they can stare straight at it and then they'll just not play around it. They'll just punt on third down on this thing. And it's going to be either a boon for you or they're just going to overcompensate because this exists. This is the type of card that influences gameplay in some very interesting ways. The fact that they made this this is a talisman, so I'm guessing that this is the only version of it. The fact that they made this a 2-pitch instead of a 1 is pretty interesting. Because it's actually not a detriment just to have it in your deck because it still pitches for 2. Like, again, we use Ninja a lot, but as an example, like this card actually makes something like Razor Reflex Blue playable.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because you can just have it sitting out there and people can just be staring at it and be like, do I need to do more? And that really influences pattern of play a lot. So I feel like that this card, while on the surface it isn't great, still has a potential place. And I'm here for it.
Then I like that this has go again. A lot of items don't, and it's a big turnoff from playing them because it's a whole turn to do absolutely nothing. So I like that this has go again in and of itself.
Right.
Yep. All right. Next up is BINGO. BINGO.
What does that have?
Bingo. It's bingo.
Oh, bingo.
The red costs 1. It is a generic attack. It hits for 5 and blocks for 3. And when bingo hits a hero, they reveal a card from their hand. If it's an attack action card, it gains go again. If it's a non-attack action card, you draw a card.
It's Flock of the Featherwalkers that blocks for 3. This is playable, infinitely playable. It might not be exactly what you expect out of a Majestic, but it's playable.
Yep.
I think the text box will detract people. Like, imagine the text box is blank, the card is fine.
Mhm.
The rest of it is gravy, right? Like if you get to draw a card, I guess the thing that I have a hard time with, and I know that I've seen said online, is turn planning with this card is very difficult. Because should I Snapdragon Scalers this? Like, well, maybe. But if I hit that non-attack, then Snapdragon Scaling this, I look like God. If I hit an attack action card, though, crap, right? So I like this card. I think it's gonna be played. I think it's good. The turn planning with it is gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, I honestly the spot that I like this card the most in is probably in something like Chain, replacing Flock Red. The quicken token in Chain is kind of a trap at times because you're already able to give your attacks go again for the most part. And so you're not doing a lot with that quicken token in a lot of instances. Sometimes you are, sometimes it enables some really big turns, but this has the ability to get a quicken token played in, but if it doesn't, you get the other thing, which is just to draw a card. Which matters, it always will matter. And it's also 1 for 5. It takes 2 cards to take care of this 1 to not have the effect. Or absorb some equipment blocks. And then it still just blocks for 3. Like,
yeah. being like the red blocking for 3 is very powerful, right? Like,
yeah, I honestly think that this fits directly into the good, not great card category.
Yep.
so our binary
Right.
system of trash or gas is ill-equipped for this.
It's gas, but it's gas because I don't understand where this is bad.
It's like that E95 you Iowans try to peddle on us. That corn-based
Okay,
shit.
okay, all right.
It's
I
cheaper,
get
but
it.
it's like miles per gallon is like 10 less.
Okay.
All
It's-
right.
You're fueling your car with the love of corn, sir. We're trying to.
Dude, I drove a European. I spend so much money at the gas station for no benefit, so I am the
True.
fool here, you know?
I drive a hybrid when the engine is in it. So
What
you know.
else is new? All right, and then the last card is Potion of Luck. It is a blue item, cost 0. As an instant, destroy Potion of Luck, shuffle your hand and arsenal into your deck, and then draw that many cards.
Gas.
Yes, but I'm incapable of playing this card.
If it's like how I play Hope Merchant's Hood, I will look at it the entire game and never use it.
I mean, the difference here is that this is Hope Merchant's Hood that pitches for 3.
Yep.
This is, again, it seems like we're seeing a lot of generic ninja cards.
Yeah, it does feel like a ninja card.
But at this point in time, I would destroy this with a 4-card hand and 1 in arsenal. I would draw 5, and they would be at least 3 of the cards I flushed that I didn't want. So my inability to draw cards that are relevant to the situation would make me think that this card's terrible. But in all honesty, it's probably exactly playable in certain instances. Very cool art. I think this is a very nice lamp. This is definitely something that belongs in Disney. But I think this is actually just one of those playable, okay cards that we should just keep an eye on, right? Like,
Yep.
Maybe this does a thing that we don't know it does. Let's try it.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
Yep. All right. Moving on to our Reddit thread of the week. They did a survey. What will be included in the Everfest Boosters, quote, carnival slot?
If you're not familiar, the carnival slot is from the Everfest release page back in November. Said within the bustling grounds of the Everfest Carnival, all fashion and performers, peddlers, and frolicking fun is to be found. Will you find fun, fame, or good fortune in the carnival slot of your Everfest booster pack? And so there's been a lot of speculation about what will be happening in the carnival slot of your Everfest booster pack, including some people that have gotten booster packs to open as part of the spoiler season. They have said that they are still not sure what precisely is the carnival slot.
Interesting.
So we have a lot of different things on this. We have 93 votes. We have 13 for alt art Everfest cards, 35 for alt art cards from previous sets, 1 for extended art cards, 11 for bonus, quote unquote, cold foils and rainbow foils, 28 votes for all of the above and maybe more, which, Jesus, people, and 5 for something else explained in the comments.
So the 28 that said all of the above, I think is more wishful thinking, because like the amount of like stakeholders that would have to be involved to do all of these is wild.
Right. And I also want to buy drugs from them.
Yeah.
'Cause they have some good stuff.
Oh, here's a really good suggestion in the comments. Cold foil heroes in the carnival setting.
Cool. Oh yeah, I would like that.
I would like that, but the previous comment by Jordan of people not knowing what one it was makes me think that ain't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's not a slot that's in every pack. I don't know if I buy that so much. But if it's any of these, right? If it's extended art cards, we would know based on if it's in every pack, we would know because people open packs. If there were bonus cold foils, maybe we wouldn't know that. Because you would just think that this is just the foil I got in the pack. I don't know.
I think that this is Flesh and Blood's version of the list. Are you familiar with the list?
I am not.
It's a magic thing they started doing. The list is a list of X number of cards, and you may open a card from the list in your set booster pack. It's possible. The list is just a curated list of cards from previous sets that are possible to open.
Are they a set rarity or like chase value?
Nope. Well, they have chase value, but they don't have a set rarity. So I think that this is closer to that, where we're going to see. I think we're going to see a CNC reprint in actual Everfest. We will see your cards, your chase cards from other sets in the Carnival slot.
Gotcha. So there could be like an E-strike in the Carnival slot.
Right, but you could also get, come to fight in the Carnival slot.
They're not all valuable.
Correct.
Oh, are they alternate art or?
No, they're the same card.
Do they? What set number do they have? Oh God, Collector Me is panicking.
They would probably have an Everfest set number.
Oh God,
no. Which would be easier, honestly, than if they didn't.
I guess I'm worried about now completing my binder.
You're the worst. If I were going to take a guess, it'd be something similar to that.
Gotcha.
Where it's and maybe it would have the same set number as the old set, but I think that would have been noticed already.
Well, to be fair, I don't know how many packs have been opened, and I also don't know who, like, there could be games been shipped from the content creator, right? Like they could be under an NDA to just say, I'm not sure, and then they'll release their video and there's just like all art, like
it's obvious.
Yeah, right. So
so my feeling is that this is definitely something that's curated in order to get more cards in players' hands.
Ooh,
which is funny because if that's the case, it kind of makes the boxes of Everfest more valuable again. Especially if the Carnival slot is only in first edition.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be a marketing ploy that would be brilliant and not anger players.
There is an interesting...
I didn't think about that.
Which, LSS, I am available for hire and I'm willing to relocate out of America at any point in time for any reason.
If they can guarantee me citizenship in a country that has free healthcare, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at.
Snap it in.
Yep.
All right. So we have 4 listener questions this week. The first one is from Derek, and it's what fab hero do you want to fight IRL and why? Jordan, you want to start?
Oh man, let me pull up the Heroes of Fat page real quick and look at these. First thing that comes to mind is Valda because
What?
I'm kind of into Valda.
You want to fight Famke Janssen from GoldenEye? Like you
she
want to die to that?
She would beat me up in the best way.
All right.
But
that tells me a lot about your marriage. I didn't want to know.
If there's anybody that I think I could just beat in a brawl, I don't think so. Like I don't beat Reinhard, Bravery, Katsura, Dorinthia. I don't beat any of the Arcane Rising champions. Like maybe I beat Datadol because I just unplug her.
Like Chain's just a goth kid, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, Chain is just an edgy goth kid.
You can handle him.
Yeah, I think so. If I'm just gonna have to like get in the octagon with somebody, it's probably Chain. What about you, Logan?
I'm
fighting Bravo. Like
I take the.
Are you fighting Bravo or like fighting Bravo?
No, I'm going like weird. One of us is going to walk out with like missing an ear or not be able to fuck anymore. Like we're fighting.
I will take Bravo money line, please.
Absolutely, you should. But I'm more mad that he's just more Jesus-y than me with better hair. And I think I need to like try to take him down a peg. Like maybe he's got a glass jaw. Maybe I can get a sucker punch in. Like a good sucker will take care of a lot of people. And you can be the guy that then suckered Bravo but knocked him out. Like that'd be great. And honestly, I think it'd be a challenge, and I like challenges. Plus, I know for a fact, through experience, sadly, that I can take a punch. Many of them. So maybe I wear him out. You never know. I don't know what his cardio is like. Maybe he just swings those 3 times and he thinks game's over. Nah, I'm getting up. I might not be in the best shape, but I'm not dead yet. So let's go, buddy. I think I'm fighting Bravo mainly because I don't know how much I value life, and let's go. Let's find out what we got left in the tank. Yeah.
Ab, who are you stepping into the octagon with?
I don't know. I really fight any of them. None of them really scare me off.
It seems like you're gonna have tea with Prism.
Probably Oldham.
What?
Yeah. Okay, listen.
Dude.
So,
What?
Probably most of you don't know this. I used to be a manager of a restaurant that was open 24/7, and I had to deal with huge drunk assholes all the time. So, like, that getting into a fight with like a big ass grown man does not scare me at all. So, like, whatever.
Right, well,
it's fine. Bring it on. Done it before. I do it again. It's fine.
Oof.
He's not a big drunk ass idiot, though.
Yeah, that's old him. That's like dad strength.
Yeah, that's Father Winter, for Christ's sake.
Listen, I'm not scared.
God.
You want a piece of that frosty motherfucker? Like, oh, all right.
Oh my God. I thought,
I'm not scared.
man, that's interesting.
That's a lot. That's a lot to comprehend.
I do think I could beat Cavdan up,
Okay, fine.
but he's also like definitively not a fighter, right? He's just a merchant. So,
I mean, good luck getting close enough to Kano. And then, I feel like I'm never fighting a ninja. Like, that's just never happening.
oh yeah, it's a lose.
I'm not that dumb.
Azalea would sniper you.
Yeah, Azalea, you're just gonna get shot, which is not great. Same with Lexi. Briar, I mean, if you don't have any if you don't have like an allergy to poison ivy or poison oak, I guess you're fine.
If I can bring a gun, I beat Dorinthia because she just has swords, and I'm
but
I'm American, so those are on the ready.
Jesus, you gotta be kidding me.
Like, there's a
How many
Walmart
guns are in your
nearby.
house, Jordan?
0. We are
Zero.
non-gun owning people. Don't come into my mentions with that shit.
All right, okay.
All right.
But and Dory seems like a problem too. Bolton seems like a bigger problem, but
Viscerai is terrifying.
yeah, Viscerai, I'm out. Like, I am not dealing with Viscerai. We're of the tier rankings. That's the one I'm the farthest away from. That's like somebody that does Wiccan shit that actually works. I'm done. Like, no way. Hell no. Like, that's somebody who says magic missile and you get burned to death. I'm done.
Done.
Like, we're not doing that. It's a real D&D kid right there.
All right. Question number 2 is from our bestie, Sleepy Jackal.
He is the best. Sleeper Jackal.
Sleepy Jackal. I get that
He
you're
will
making fun of me,
forever
but
be called Sleepy Jackal. He has to change his name now. Do you think LSS will release a PvE supplement akin to the old WoW TCG raid box sets?
I don't know what those are.
I just want to quickly. Do you think that word is pronounced Aiken?
I'm assuming now it's not.
It's akin.
Akin.
Clay
Whatever.
is Aiken. My joints are aching if I'm in the south. This is akin.
Well,
God bless that Mansfield public education.
that's right. I don't know what a
Too good.
WoW TCG raid box set
So
is.
this would be like
I don't know what that is.
we were talking about. This is like these are sold separately, like kits that have like encounters in them that like scale on difficulty based on the number of players. Think something like Gloomhaven, or I guess like what is the card game? What's the LCG that is popular? Arc Knight something.
Arkham Asylum or
Yeah, Asylum, I think. Arkham Asylum or something like that. Yeah, like the computer has like predefined rule sets, and you have to use your cards in your decks. Like
oh, okay. So I get what you're saying. I would say yes. So it's like Hero Quest but LSS minus the minis.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I think they will. Yes, I think that we're definitely going to get some interesting PvE supplemental with predefined encounters. Yes. I absolutely think so.
Yeah, and you'll buy these separately, or I guess they could be downloadable assets. Is one of the hallmark things. These are standalone products. Yeah, I think that's what this will be.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit in the Discord today. That's the only way that it would make me happy. Sleeper Jekyll said, "Hey, if this is like Commander, I'm gonna hate it." And I agree that if this isn't like,
But if it's a better done plane chase or arch enemy, maybe.
yeah, like Plane Chase, I guess, is closer to what I'm thinking would be good than like Commander, just because like at least in Plane Chase there is like this CPU that kind of runs itself and like
There's an RNG component.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Hearthstone, which whew.
Or like Battlegrounds or whatever.
No, Hearthstone in general. Like, it's just become RNG's this fest all over the place. Just play Classic and just be done with it.
The game is very good, but yeah, I don't know if I could get into it for like a long-term haul.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, number 3. What would be the implications if LSS moved the rarity drop rates one step? So L to M and so on.
So this is Lone Road Ninja. That came up with this, our Aussie friend. So thank you for this. And I have a lot to say on this. So Jordan, if you want to go first, feel free. Because I'm probably got an entire barrel full for this one.
I think I'd be mostly interested in asking you questions as you like talk about your experience with it. But my first hit is it's important for single retailers that there is some chase so that they buy stuff and like, or then they have things to sell. And like, if everything is majestic rarity, there is no like reason to open boxes or whatever.
Okay. So
I could be wrong, but
there are 2 important components to a collectible card game. The first component is card game. Easy enough to understand what that is, although we've already discussed how LSS does not know how to balance a card game. The second is collectible. Here's where we have our problem. When you start shifting rarities specifically for chase cards downward, you inspire a lack of faith in the collector base. Now, the collector base is sort of a silent part of the game in a lot of ways. It's sort of the invisible hand of the market in the regard that they're not worried about tournament results to drive their purchases or their decisions. They're basing it on rarity and scarcity. I'm going to get this thing, whatever this thing is, because it's hard to get, and therefore its scarcity will allow me, the collector, to define the market. When you start moving those steps, when you start moving the goalposts, it makes collectors shy away. Now, when that happens, that's where you start having problems where a lot of the product sales and stuff like that, there's more that go to collectors than you think or know. And it's always been that way. It's been that way since the early ages of Magic. The best example is Chronicles, where they took and reprinted a ton of cards. And when they did it, it invalidated or it destroyed the values that were in those cards in their previous sets, causing collectors to say, I'm done. And Magic sales plummeted. And to the point that the game was almost dead in the water in 1995. We're not talking like yesterday. We're talking 27 years ago. And Magic had to go so far as to make a promise that they wouldn't reprint certain cards. And that has built in an artificial amount of scarcity in that game, which is now still an arguing point today on Twitter. Please do not engage in that discourse. I value you people and I love you dearly. So when you move a legendary to a majestic, all those people in the collector space specifically, and some people in the player space that are also collectors, are going to look at that and go, wait, I did what for why? Because now their purchase has been to a degree invalidated. If it's 20 years from now and they look at, it's a good example, scab skin leathers, and they go, oh, we only printed this thing once. We're going to print it in different art in a supplemental set with a different border. And, so it's heavily differentiated from this very limited thing when we first released the game, that's different. But if you were to go today or in Everfest and reprint Feindel's Tunic, well, Tunic's actually still a bad example. If you were to reprint Tectonic Plating as a Majestic in a set, after people have looked at Bravo Star of the Show and been panic buying Tectonic Platings, which they have, just go look at the charts, they have. They're going to lose their minds and they're going to lose their faith. And there are the amount of importance that faith plays in a collectible card game and a collectible card game market is almost equal to the gameplay. So in shifting rarities, especially this early in a game, and for Staples specifically, if you shifted Flight of the Heron or whatever the fuck that card is from Majestic to Rare, no one's going to give a shit. They're not going to care because it's nothing anybody plays. If you shifted to Ancestral Empowerment, which is still played, they're not going to care. It's $1 to $2 Majestic. No one's going to care. But when you shift these things that are $100+ and make them $30+, people are going to start to care and they're going to start to lose faith. If you want this game to succeed, that's not the way to do it. Find other ways to get cards into people's hands. Don't do the rarity shift game, especially this early. And rant over.
So, they asked a good follow-up question that I feel is interesting. What does the player, what does the guy that doesn't give a shit about the collector gain from that? Because I guess what I heard was, what a person could hear from that is the collectors flee the scene, and maybe this is it, is that it gets hard for the game to survive without the collectors, or the collectors. Right. Is that like the key feature? Is it like the collectors are actually much more lifting up the scene than people might see?
Again, invisible hand of the market.
Sure.
That is exactly correct. And we've seen it. Like, this isn't an isolated instance. Like, we've seen this before. Rarity shifting has, especially early, has never been great. It's felt necessary at times. Because you have examples like Savannah Lions, which is one of the earliest rares printed in Magic, and then it was shifted to an uncommon, and now there are commons that outstrip it. Whatever, that's power creep. Power creep is different. It's not just taking a card and moving it. But the invisible hand of the market in this specific instance is the collector, and people don't understand that play the game necessarily how important the collectors are to the sustainability of this game existing in the long term. And I would be more than happy, in the case of like somebody that needed to borrow cards that they couldn't afford them, to just loan them the cards, right, than to have this happen. And if they scum me out of them, whatever, I'll spend the extra money. It's the purpose of being somebody that's in a position to do so. It's fine. I'll live. It's not a big deal. But I would rather do that than have the health of the game jeopardized by these kind of rash decisions this early on.
That's really interesting. I never really thought of because I'm thinking so we played an LCG called Legend of the Five Rings, which I thought the game was fine. And without a market for the cards, there was some difficulty in getting money back, like to get anything worthwhile to happen in it. Events were not for cash, so that means a lot of competitive players won't play, and it makes content creation around it hard. And how do you monetize? How do potential advertisers monetize this when there's no cash in the scene? When you can buy all of the cards for $30 in a set. So that's really interesting because I definitely valued the LCG model. It was buy 2 of the products and we have 2 play sets of everything. Yep. Where with Everfest we bought 4 cases and I'm not going to get a play set of everything, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I'm not going to get all the legendaries. I'm probably not going to get a Fable because I don't run like Logan does.
Come on, man.
Logan's going to get
But
like
you know
4
what-
Fables. What?
Right.
I mean,
you know
I-
what we are gonna get? We're gonna
What?
get to open packs, which is the best part.
I'm excited about the paper packs.
I
That's
would
not the point
degradable
here, but-
packs. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I might just go plant it in a tree.
Yeah, why
I'm not
not?
gonna do that
I'm
because
popping beer 3 at this point, by the way.
we
Like,
are
that's
a
how
3
deep
beer
we
show.
are.
Oh,
We're a
oh,
3
boy.
beer
It's a
show.
3 beer
Yeah.
show.
Cheers.
Oh, God.
no.
This is a champagne of beers. Even we're
Oh, it's a
definitely
real
kicking
classy
it.
time.
The Champagne
boy, howdy.
beers. But that's interesting. I did not think of it like that. So I guess the prices are important, and it's just an unfortunate reality of that. And that just is what it is.
It is what it is. As somebody like again, and a lot of this comes from working in the space, right? And I hope that's a perspective I can continue to bring to people that are newer to card games, collectible card games specifically, is the perspective of how a vendor, which is effectively a collector,
Right. Just a mass
looks at
scale
this
for the
space.
collector. Yeah.
Correct. And right now, it's where this game is 2 years old, 3 years old, and you're too early to be pulling that. Like Jordan's has made fun of me before for having Fableds in magnetic cases because he's like, dude, that's $150 card. You've riffle shuffled $500 cards, not giving a shit.
Yeah.
And he's right. I would do it right now and not even think about it. But because these are one-offs, I don't have to shuffle. I just like to just put them in a thing.
Right.
Yeah, I've definitely came around on that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a value thing. It's kind of more of a convenience thing, honestly. So yeah, it's not the dollar amount for me at all.
Because I definitely get like someone that would say, well, I don't give a shit about collectors and the value they get out of this. I want to be able to play the game at a reasonable value. Like I hear that argument, but it sounds like what you're saying is like you would not be able, the game would not really exist in the way that we know it. Distributors have a hard time selling product to stores because there's not really worth in opening boxes and
so there is a spot in this where the player has to give a shit about the collector. Sadly, it is symbiotic.
Because I don't feel like it goes the other way. You mentioned symbiotic. I don't know if the collector gives that much of a shit about the player.
Oh, they absolutely do. 100%.
I think it's like in the same way that like Jeff Bezos gives a shit about me and the how much he extract from me. Like,
because
I'm fighting for the common man here, Logan.
A collector, or I guess less than a collector, more than a vendor, certainly gives a shit that somebody fights nationals with Prism. That means that their phantasmal footsteps went from being $100 to $200. Right. And they can use the profit gained on that to leverage into other product. Like, that matters a ton.
So when I say that they don't care about the player, I mean that like the way that you're describing it, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, like it makes sense for like Joe Blow as the player to care about the success of the collector. Like we want them making money, we want them like succeeding, because again, I think it's like you said, that creates the opportunity for the rest of it. It makes SCG Con pick up fab. It makes all these other things happen. I don't think that the collector is necessarily worried about the accessibility of a person saying, hey, I don't have a ton of money to spend on this game. How do we make it more affordable? Right? Like,
but they do.
Only to the degree that Jeff Bezos cares about affordability. Right?
So yes and no, I guess. Symbiosis works in a way where it's mutually beneficial. The actual caring of it is neither here nor there. It's more along the lines of everybody, each side of symbiotic relationships benefits in some way, shape, or form. The player is benefiting because the game still exists for them to play, and them to, in the case of these people that play at a very high level, rake these gold foils and then turn around and sell them back to the collectors for a couple $1,000s. On the terms of the collectors, the players doing well with certain decks and certain points in time make their collection more valuable so that they can get a greater return on their investment. So that's where the mutual beneficence happens. it's not about caring. Like, people giving a fuck about other people is not the human condition. Sadly, I wish it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess because
I love you all. Sorry. I want to just point that out.
Yes, no, completely. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like, I guess, like, from the perspective that this question is being asked and from some of the discussion that followed up in the Discord, accessibility is like the greater the collector does, accessibility for like the bottom percentage of the player base gets worse. And now, granted, we talked about this off camera. We are in late stage capitalism, so that is a thing that,
Cheers.
and that could
Right.
that could just be the end of the conversation. In that, like, these are necessities. We both benefit in the way that late stage capitalism allows us to. Especially when you're talking like the consumer. Anything after, like, what do we say, Carnegie, the consumer is not the actual winner, right? So
The Carnegies and Rockefellers tried to buy the presidency. That was the beginning of the end.
yeah, so like, right. So like, I guess I've pushed back a lot, but I ultimately, in the context of like the economic situation that the world finds itself in, agree with you that, like,
Yeah, and the point is for you to push back, because if you were able to push back in a meaningful way that I couldn't defend my position, that would mean I need to reconsider my position, not get mad and start flustering and firebranding and then taking out a tiki torch.
Jesus.
So that's an important part of understanding how conversation and actual productive discourse happens.
Right.
Which is lacking in today's society in general, because we live in a post-internet world. But you have to, like, understanding both sides of how a market makes a game happen is vitally important. And I think there are ways for LSS to address the lack of certain cards without moving rarity. Like, if they print Command and Conquer again in Everfest, and they print it with different art, that is a delineation. Like,
yeah,
it's still majestic, so there's still only X number of copies, but they're now a difference between Arc,
OG
Command
and
Conquer.
Everfest, yeah,
Right, exactly,
Right.
and that matters to collectors.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So that's how you navigate those waters. But and I think that the way they reprint legendaries is actually kind of just amazing. Just reprint the damn thing, not foil. Perfect. Good solution. So I want them to continue with what they're doing. I understand there's frustrations around card availability. I would implore any of our listeners, any of the people in our Discord, that I'm easy to find. Send me a message and say, hey, I'm going to be at X event. Are you going to be there? And if so, can you bring me Y? And I'm probably going to say, well, yeah, cool. I'm not going to care. And if you ditch out on the event and not give the cards back to me and do it in a malicious way, I'll put you on blast. That's the worst thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to take you to small claims court, for God's sakes.
I'll do that so you
So,
can get the hell out of here.
However, you will be name and shamed. Like, that will happen. But I would rather that be the case and watch this game continue to thrive than be in a spot where they feel like they have to start making concessions in ways that make the game plummet. And that's the last thing I want from both the perspective of somebody that enjoys playing the game, and and also from the perspective of somebody who has binders full of these fucking cards right next to me. I want that to be understood.
Yeah, so this has been corporate shill Logan Peterson.
Go fuck yourself.
Back next on Fox Business, we have Jeff Bezos.
Look here, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
I don't need your shit.
No, I think I ultimately agree, and I think that the real lesson is like, if you find aspects of the game cost prohibitive, get yourself into your community. You'd be surprised at the generosity of people to lend their cards.
Yep.
Absolutely true.
Yep.
Logan won't sue you. I definitely would sue you, because it's just like spare time for me. But
we do have an Australian, at least, that listens to the pod.
If he stole a card from me, I'm suing him in Ohio. I'm going to drag him here.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be great.
Oh my god, I'm gonna
Like,
attach a link. I'm gonna attach a link to this upside down house.
Ian, let us know if you have a passport. We may just fund you coming to America one time.
Logan just priced me into $2,000.
We'll split it. Split
Do you
it.
think an international flight is less than $4,000?
You understand that I have ways to making this happen. Like, it's fine.
This is I'm gonna look up a flight to Australia right now. A flight to Australia is $2,500 right now. That's if you live
we're
in
gonna fly in
Sydney.
business class.
Gonna fly in business class?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna fly
God.
from Sydney to Columbus. Now we're gonna fly him into Indy. We'll pick him up in Indy.
The expense tracking spreadsheet for Flush and Pod just got a little bit more red.
And we're gonna fly in business class. So let's say we're gonna do it for the calling in March.
Jesus.
So we're gonna fly him in on the 17th.
In
fly him back
March?
out on the 22nd.
I have 6 weeks to come up with $2,500.
Oh wait, I gotta mark it a business class. Hold up.
This is what happens at a 3-beer show, everybody.
Hold up.
Abby
We
is
got this.
ferociously highlighting the next part of the show notes, giving the move on quick cue.
I got 6,300.
Christ. Listen.
Okay, Ian, we're not doing that.
We're not doing
All
that.
right.
All right.
All right. Speaking of our generosity, I'm going to move this along.
What a segue.
okay.
Look at you.
Okay, but listen, listeners, friends, besties, if you will, we are going to give this goddamn deck box away. I swear to God, it's going to happen. So this
you
is
tried to give this deck box away. The first giveaway that I have the person from Australia wins. You're like, nobody will take this fucking box.
Yeah, like, just take it from me,
Just
please.
listen. Okay, so this
Beautiful.
is the third time we're doing it. We're doing it in the Discord this time. So there's a pinned post under giveaway, and you have to go and put the party react to it.
Just click the one everyone else is clicking.
Yeah, a bunch of people have done it, so just click that one. I think there's a second one now, so you can click both. You'll get entered.
Will we accept the Jordan Inevitable React?
No.
I think we should.
I need to fix the Jordan Inevitable React. But yeah, if you
Right,
join our
well,
Discord, you get to use Jordan Inevitable. So
That's right.
And you
It's
get
him
to
with
join this
Thanos'
thing.
helmet. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
To be fair, if I see that you reacted to this post and then left our Discord, you will not win. You have to stay, at least until I do all this. Like if I right click your name and we don't have our server in common, I'm just gonna go to the next name. So don't play that with me.
Yeah.
So we
Go for it, Abs.
Sorry,
we
Abby.
will announce the next winner on the February 8th show. Whoever it is, you are going to take this deck box.
One way or
Okay?
another.
Yeah. We'll figure out where you
I'll
are.
fly
And,
to South Africa, or where does he live? Australia. I'll fly to
I mean, we can go to South Africa.
South Africa's
South
actually
Africa-
gorgeous.
That's not where
too.
we're supposed to go. I don't think anyone would take the deck box there.
Like, he'll go all Liam Neeson on you. He will find
I will
you.
find
and
you.
That's
give
right.
tech
If you live in Australia or South Africa or wherever the hell,
South Africa,
I'm gonna go-
what?
well, I have a friend that lived in South Africa for a while, and then so Australia, and then the A foreign place was in my head. So
Whatever you have to tell yourself.
Take it to Maritas and people.
did you all think that was
there.
going to a weird place when I said South Africa? That was the
I mean-
reaction I got on the video side. Was everybody was like, "What's he gonna say? This is spooky."
I bless the rains down in Africa.
Oh
good
my
s-
God. Okay. As
done.
always, you can find us on Twitter at FlushPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. That is how you enter to win the box. For the love of God, please enter. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple. You can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. If you don't use any of that, you can email us at flushandpod@gmail.com. My personal Twitter is at AbbyD83. I don't use it often, but it is there if you want to tweet at me.
You can find me on Twitter at I'm Jerman. I am JORMAN. I use Twitter pretty frequently because Abby doesn't respond to my texts, so then I just tweet whatever I texted her.
Oof.
And then she responds to people in the Discord before she responds to my text. So
That's right. Did
Oh,
you hear
yeah.
that, listeners? You're the priority.
Oh my God. I'm at Logan Peterson on Twitter, PETERSEN for people that don't know how to spell. Please somebody win the People's Deck Box and let us know. And let us know if you want us to sign it, because all of us will just sign it as well, and you can have an autographed Flesh and Pod deck box. Because for God's sakes, Jordan's been holding on to this thing for over a month now.
Oh my god.
So get this out of his hands. This is terrifying that he has had this deck box this long.
I won this deck box in SCG calling Cincinnati, for Christ's sake. So
Yep.
Like,
the people's deck box will go to the people. That's all I got to say.
One way or another.
I'm gonna start adding a cold foil to the deck box for every person that doesn't claim it.
I will add one. I will be right behind you.
Okay.
I have plenty.
Okay.
Like, we can make this a... Well, God, people are just going to start stacking fucking cold foils on us now. We shouldn't have said anything. Oh my God, I'm an idiot.
Oh my god.
All right. At least somebody's already, like, party reacted on Discord, so hopefully...
Someone will win. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. As far as... I do have plenty of cold foils. I just don't want to start giving them away. Yeah, that's all I got. Great show. Way to weather the last hour and 40 minutes or so.
What a show, guys.
I'm proud of you.
Good job, team.
I feel like this is just going to be the exact same thing next week too, where we're just going to be like, oh god,
there's gonna be more spoilers next week. Christ.
Yeah,
That's
it's actually going to be longer. So listener questions maybe not a priority next week.
Definitely not.
For that, I apologize to the listeners because we are about the people. We like to give the people what they want,
That's right.
which is more
especially the deck box.
and the deck box, the people's deck box.
Maybe the people are speaking and don't want the deck box.
I don't.
I know what
doesn't
the
want
people.
a
I
deck
know what the
box?
people want. Abby, get us
We
out
should
of
really
here.
give the people what they want.
Yeah,
All
Abby, get
right,
us
that's
outta
a
here.
wrap. Thanks for
I'm
listening,
done.
friends, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.